You know, every single day at work, millions of us do the exact same thing. We type in our password and we hit enter. And it feels totally instant, right? But behind that one simple action, there is a hidden, high-speed journey taking place. So today, we're going to pull back that curtain and take a look at the secret life of your login.
So have you ever actually wondered what is going on in that split second? Your computer, it's basically embarking on this invisible but absolutely critical mission. It has to find the right gatekeeper to prove you are who you say you are. Okay, let's dive into how it all works.
I want you to think of this not as some dry, technical process, but more like a quest. Your computer is the hero of our story, and its very first challenge is to find its way in this huge digital kingdom.
And here it is. This is the destination, the main character in our whole story, the domain controller. I mean, think of it as the network's bouncer, the librarian, and the hall monitor all rolled into one. It literally holds the keys to the kingdom, and your computer has to get its permission to get in.
Now here's the catch. A big company network doesn't have just one of these gatekeepers. Oh no. It can have dozens, maybe even hundreds scattered all over the globe, so your computer can't just shout into the void and hope for the best. It needs a map. It needs to find the right one.
And you know, just like any good quest, our hero has a choice. There are two paths it can take to get to its destination. There's an old, winding country road, and there's a modern, super efficient highway. And here they are, side by side. On the left, you've got DNS-based discovery. That is our modern superhighway. It is fast, it's reliable, it's secure. And on the right, that's the old country road, the NetBIOS-based discovery. It's a legacy method that, it got the job done back in the day, but now it's definitely being phased out.
And hey, you don't have to take my word for it. Microsoft, the people who built this whole system, are super clear about this. Their official guidance basically says, stick to the superhighway. Why? Because it's just plain better and a whole lot safer.
So for the rest of our little journey here, we're going to take that recommended path. Let's see exactly how your computer navigates this modern DNS highway to find that all-important gatekeeper.
Okay, let's break this down. First, your computer's Netlogon service, think of it like a digital messenger, sends out the call. Then it checks DNS, which is kind of like the network's address book, looking for a special entry called an SRV record. Once it gets a list of possibilities, it sends out a quick ping to see who's actually online. The available controllers all yell back, "Hey, I'm here and ready to go." Your computer connects to the very first one that answers, and then, and this is clever, it saves that information so the next time you log in, it's even faster.
But wait, the story doesn't end there. The system is actually even smarter than just finding the first server that answers. It wants to find the absolute best one. Let's see how this whole thing gets even more efficient.
You see, connecting to a server that's on the other side of the country or even the other side of the world, well, that would be incredibly slow. And the system knows this. It's built to avoid that. So this is the really crucial part. The real goal is to find the most optimal gatekeeper, the one that's physically closest to you on the network. That's how you get the fastest possible connection.
The way the network does this is actually pretty cool. It uses a concept called an Active Directory site. Just think of it like a digital neighborhood. Based on your computer's IP address, the network figures out which neighborhood you're in and makes sure to direct you to a server in that same local area.
And the benefits here are huge. We're talking faster logins, less traffic clogging up the network. It's a win-win. What's really slick is how the system can self-correct. If your computer somehow connects to a server that's far away, that server will politely say, "Hey, you really shouldn't be talking to me. Go talk to my colleague who's way closer to you." Your computer then caches that better info, but it still rechecks every 15 minutes, just to make sure it's always using the best path. Pretty smart, right?
Now, this process has been the bedrock of Windows networking for decades, but like everything in tech, it's evolving. So let's take a look at how it's changing to become even more secure for the future. Remember that old country road we talked about before, that NetBIOS method? Well, Microsoft is officially closing it down. Starting with the next big version of Windows Server, it's going to be blocked by default.
And here's how they're doing it. There's a new policy setting called Block NetBIOS Discovery. By default, it's set to true, which means that old method is blocked right out of the box. Now, admins can set it to false if they really need some extra time to transition, but the message from Microsoft is crystal clear. The future is DNS.
This is all part of a really important industry trend toward being secure by default. By disabling these older, more vulnerable protocols from the get-go, Microsoft is making networks safer right out of the box. protecting them from attack methods that have been around for a very, very long time.
So what are the big takeaways from all this? First, remember that your simple login is actually a super sophisticated quest. Second, that modern DNS highway is really the only road you should be on. Third, the system is incredibly smart. It's always working to find the closest and fastest server for you. And finally, this whole invisible process is constantly getting better and more secure to keep our network safe.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Every single click, every tap, every login kicks off this amazing cascade of hidden events. What other invisible processes are out there, quietly powering our digital world, just waiting for us to discover them?